go. Hello, everyone. It's Thursday. Welcome to my expert series. I have an amazing expert today. I've got Nicole with me. Hi, Nicole.
Hi.
And she's going to talk to us about something that parents are going to love. So if you're a parent, I hope you're watching. If you're not watching, well, you're going to miss out on some awesome tips. So if you know parents, get them watching this because this is gold, what Nicole has to share. So before we get into the tips, Nicole, tell us, what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a naturopathic doctor. I practice at Durham Massage in Whitby, and I have a general practice. So I treat pretty much anything that you would see a family doctor for, and that includes kids and all of their ailments that they come in with, everything from asthma and eczema and allergies to digestive stuff, sleep issues, and a lot of time that comes down to what they're eating and how we can get them to eat as well as we possibly can, even though they're picky and their tastes change on an hourly basis. So I kind of help navigate that a little bit.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And I love that that's where those tips are going to go. And before we get there, though, how do you find what you do brings more peace and harmony to families? Because that's what this is all about. And I know, although just like what I do, you treat like a specific thing in one person, that specific thing, whether it's anxiety or asthma or sleep problems, isn't just that one person. If the child's having sleep problems, well, guess what? Mom and dad aren't sleeping either. If the child has anxiety, guess what? Who's dealing with that? Mom and dad, right? So how do you find that what you do really impacts the whole family?
Well, I think number one, making meal times and snack times and food easier makes a huge impact, because it's not feasible for a parent to cook 3 and 4 different meals for 3 or 4 different people based on 3 or 4 different tastes and textures and what we're eating this week. And also kind of giving parents strategies so that sugar is not such a huge motivator, and having how to make healthy food appealing to your kids so you're not dealing with the fight every single meal or the fight every single snack time, or why does so-and-so get to have yummy snacks and my mom only gives me carrots. Navigating that for parents, that's a huge stress relief, that they have a resource that they can use that to give their kids healthy food that they feel good about, but also not have it be a fight and a struggle every single time.
Yeah, who's on for that? I am. I would love that. I have to say, so even in my house, when we make like pasta, it's, well, one has sauce with meatballs. The other one doesn't have meatballs or sauce, but sometimes cheese, sometimes not cheese, depending on his mood. And then adults, we want veggies in our sauce. So it's not just sauce from the jar. We'd like to chop up some veggies and get some more stuff in there, right? Along with
you serve them anything green, you're out. You're done.
Right? So it's, even in one meal that's pasta, there's 3 different options in our house. It's easy because it's either sauce or no sauce, and maybe more complex sauce. But when you come to the point where there's maybe someone in your family, I know a family that their son doesn't eat pasta, so then they need to make something else as a side or the main course if that's what they're going to eat, or do they avoid it altogether?
Right. When you start throwing in food intolerance and sensitivities and that kind of thing, someone can't have dairy and someone can't have gluten and this person's sensitive to corn, then parents are sitting there saying, well, what do I feed my kid? That's where I come in to kind of give you the strategies that are not only medically sound, but also realistic, and that you can actually incorporate into your life so that it's not a massive struggle to figure these things out, and yet your kid can feel better and get healthy and get the nutrition they need without it being a huge undertaking by the parents.
Yeah, and I have to say, personal story here. My son was taken off dairy for a little bit because of his allergies. Thank you, Nicole. And my other son is like the dairy patrol. I'll suggest something to eat. Oh, well, he can't eat that. No, there's dairy in that. I was like, when did you become like the dairy police, dude?
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, no, he can't have regular ice cream. So we went and got him his own ice cream that was dairy free. And now we don't have the regular ice cream. And it's like, oh my goodness, it's such a battle. But thank you for your advice on how to navigate that with the different types of ice cream, because we kind of like ice cream in our house, right? And
that's the thing, to say that, an 8 or 9-year-old can't have ice cream ever, that's an unrealistic solution. yes, dairy has ice cream or ice cream has dairy, and ice cream also has sugar and all sorts of horrible things for you. No one should ever eat ice cream theoretically, but ice cream's delicious. And at a birthday party, you got to have an option for the kid because
Yeah.
everyone else is having. And if everyone else is having and you can't have, that's where kids start to create a really negative relationship with food, or they start to become really fearful of food, which then turns into bigger issues later on that they either they feel like they can't eat anything, or they say, forget it, I'm going to eat all of the things because, I was told for 10 years that I couldn't eat anything. Now I don't care. I'm going to eat everything. And that ends up being a whole bunch of other health issues down the road too.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, let's start sharing your tips because I know you have some good ones for us.
Yeah. So in terms of health for kids, again, food intolerance is a big deal. Lots of kid health issues end up being food related. So that's usually where I start with people, especially small people, because usually their systems they haven't been overburdened by 20 years of illness. So usually a food intolerance can be a pretty quick fix. So pretty much any health condition can be related to food. It depends on the person, it depends on the kid, it depends on their exposure, all those kinds of things. But looking out for patterns you notice. Every time they have dairy, are they super gassy? Does their behavior totally change? Does their sleep change? Does their energy change? Do they sprout a weird rash? Whatever symptom you're looking for, see if you can notice a correlation with some kind of food, and then, eliminate it for a couple weeks and see what happens. It's a pretty good test to say you pulled it for a few weeks and no symptom happened, and you put it back in and suddenly they have a headache again. I don't need a test to tell me that they're probably sensitive to that food. So just kind of keeping track of things and monitoring as you go is big. And then in terms of what to get them to eat, the more fruits and vegetables all of us eat, the better. That's just a general health rule of thumb. It is what it is. But that can be a real challenge for parents and for kids. So I find smoothies are a really great way to get a lot of great nutrition into kids really easy. It's an easy breakfast option. So when mornings are really hectic and chaotic, you can even make them the night before, keep them in the fridge, and then you can just grab and go either in the car on the way to school or, at the breakfast table, whatever that looks like. It's really easy. It's satisfying. It's also an easy way to get kids to be involved in their meals. What are we going to put in our smoothie today? Would you rather have blackberries or blueberries or pears, or what are we going to make? So it gets kids involved in their cooking process, no matter how little they are. And it gives them a little bit of empowerment over what they're putting in their bodies. So it's not just, I have to eat this because mom said. I have to eat this because it's good for me and I got to pick what went in it today. So I love smoothies for kids. You can even so again, you can make them dairy free really easily. And there's a lot of really good different nutritional powders that are out there that are totally plant-based, totally food-based. So for kids who are really, really picky and won't have, basic fruits and vegetables in there, you can throw in a scoop or a half scoop and they're getting their nutrition for the day. Whatever else they get is bonus. For kids who really don't like the texture of smoothies, because sometimes that's a bit of an issue, you can turn your smoothies into popsicles. So they've got the popsicle molds that are at the dollar store or Walmart or whatever. Pour the smoothie in there, throw a popsicle stick in. If they eat 4 popsicles in a day, you're the coolest mom ever. And they don't feel like they're missing out. It's a healthy snack that they can have every day if they want, but they're still getting the nutrition they need in a form that they don't think that they're eating anything they don't want to eat. You can hide just about anything. I have patients hide supplements in smoothies all the time because they don't know it's there, and they work as a really nice option for kids.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that. One of our kids loves smoothies, and you can put omega-3s in there, you can put probiotics, you can put whatever you want in there, and they don't even know, right? It's just in there. It's a smoothie.
Exactly. And they're easily changeable. So as their tastes change, it's not like you have to come up with a new recipe every 10 minutes because today we like carrots and tomorrow we don't. Make them in charge of it. What's going in here? Do we want to put in carrots, or do we want to put in bananas, or do we want to put in grapes? Like, what's that going to look like for you today? And they get to choose. And again, one of the biggest things that I have parents say is like, oh, well, they won't eat that. At the end of the day, they eat what you put in front of them. So yes, it's sometimes a fight, but kids won't starve themselves. They won't, but they will test boundaries and they will push the line. How far do I have to push before she gives in and I get PB&J for dinner? How much of a tantrum do I have to throw? So if they become part of the process and part of the decision-making process, they're much less likely to be resistant about it. They feel like they've got some control over what they're eating, and they feel like they're making the choice. So it's not, I'm eating this because mom said I have to. Put it as a choice to them. Would you rather an apple or a banana? It's up to you. Either way, they're getting fruit. It doesn't matter. But very rarely will the kids say, I don't want anything. If they don't want anything, then okay. When you're ready to come back and make that decision, that's up to you. But that's your choice. So to take the unhealthy food off the table is it doesn't go well at the beginning. But eventually, as long as they feel like they've got choice and they feel empowered in the decisions they're making, they get over it. Eventually it becomes a fun thing, especially if siblings are involved. If your older sibling is making their smoothie, the little ones want to tag along and do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a friend of mine, she actually pre-packages the fruit for smoothies. So like on a Sunday, she'll prepare them ahead of time for the whole week. So exactly. In the morning, all they have to do, the kids just go in the freezer, pick out whichever one they want, and then throw in the base, whatever it's going to be, or just blend it up as it is. And It's done. They don't have to worry about partitioning or portioning the fruit. Yeah. They don't have to worry about cutting it up. It's already done. And it's awesome. They can do it themselves. The freezer's on the bottom. They just grab it, throw it in, and it's done.
Makes it super easy.
Yeah, she's awesome at preparing food and planning and stuff. I strive to be like her, but one day I'll be there.
Even involving your kids in the grocery shopping, involving kids in meal prep, having
it's so important. Yeah, it's so important.
Having them choose what they have for dinner. Obviously they're not going to actually choose what they have for dinner, but what are we going to have? Are we going to make this or are we going to make this? Okay, what do we need to do that? Is it in the fridge? Is it in the pantry? Let's go check. Let's make a grocery list. Let's go to the grocery store and find what we need. Because the things that we're learning as kids, that is the habits we have as adults. So teaching them how to meal prep and teaching them how to grocery shop and how to make a grocery list. The number of adults that come into my office and don't know how to grocery shop, like physically don't know how to do it. So again, teaching them those skills early will go a long way.
And you can make it fun too, right? You can
make a game.
Play, like we play store at our house all the time, and they buy different things, and it's usually toys, mind you, but you can easily make that into grocery shopping, pretend Absolutely. Grocery shopping, and then when you go out real grocery shopping, okay, well, remember when we were at the house, what did we need? We needed some fruit, we needed some veggies. What do you think we should get this week? And give them, You can pick one each. I had a friend who used to do that. Each one of her kids got to pick one fruit and one vegetable each week. And because their taste changed, they could pick a different one. And that was okay. And they had a say in, okay, we're going to buy this week. Oh, okay, we're going to buy this week.
And then later on, when it becomes the fight of, no, I want the cookies or I want the granola bar or whatever, it can come back to, but this is the snack you picked. Let's be excited about the snack you picked. Kind of play into that a little bit that, this is what you wanted. So let's have what we want.
Absolutely. And put the cookies away where they don't have it. Like you can still have it in the house, but not somewhere where it's easy to reach. Put the fruit, the vegetables. Oh, look, there's banana. Just go over. Like, how many times have I seen my kid sitting on the couch eating an apple? I'm like, oh, you were hungry? Okay. He just got up. He can reach it. Yep. Whereas the cookies, they're way up there. Because
to say that they can never ever have cookies, no. We don't want kids to feel deprived and we don't want kids to feel like they're missing out, but to have them in moderation as a snack here and there as a treat, that's the difference. Having cookies a few times a week is not going to kill anyone. It doesn't make anyone sick. It is what it is. Kids are exposed to sugar left, right, and center these days. So to say they're never going to have anything is unrealistic. But to have the staple of what they're eating being good quality, nutritious food, that's what makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely. And I love that philosophy because, like you say, getting rid of it all the time is not doable for most families anyways. Like, we like to keep most of the healthy stuff in the house. You know, every now and then we got a bag of chips, or we have a thing of cookies, or the school is selling chocolate bars for fundraiser. So who's got it in the house?
Absolutely. And
Right?
again, it's teaching that appropriate relationship with food. You know, it doesn't have to be perfection. It doesn't have to be 100% all the time. You know, you should feel okay to indulge at a special occasion, or to have, you know, have a one-off that you're eating something that's a treat instead of having that be your norm. And you shouldn't feel bad about it, because that's how it is. That's how it becomes a sustainable change long term. That's why diets don't work, because you go all or nothing, and then you say, instead of doing it all 100%, you're going to do nothing. So I'd rather there be some moderation there and be some flexibility, because that's how it becomes a sustainable lifestyle, rather than a diet we're putting you on.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, that's kind of what we did with the dairy free with my son, because we ordered pizza on Friday, and well, the dairy patrol was like, no, he can't eat pizza. And I was like, I'm not cooking, so he either doesn't eat or he eats pizza. I think Nicole's going to be okay with him eating.
I'm okay with you having pizza. If you're having pizza 4 times a week, not so much. But on a Friday night as a thing that you're doing, yeah, okay. But then also pay attention to how he feels.
You know, that's what we said. He got sniffly one day, and I said, you know what? Let's hold off. There's no dairy today because you're getting sniffly, and we know that impacts your allergies. So when that dies down, maybe you can have some more. Or you had pizza on Friday, so you know what? Saturday, you're not having chocolate milk.
Right. And also having those conversations with them so that they can understand the relationship of what food is doing to their body. You know, so it's not a situation where mom says, I can't have. It's, no, dairy makes me sniffly, or dairy gives me a headache, or dairy makes my stomach upset, or whatever that is. And it becomes a choice that they make for themselves. You know, it's not for me to have the ice cream because I'm not going to feel good.
Right. And, you know, coming from someone other than mom or dad makes such a difference. Like, I could have said to my son, you know, let's try not eating dairy for however long. And he'd be like, are you nuts? But after he went to see you, we had some bumps at the beginning. And I even said to him, like, do you want me to do this with you? And I'll get rid of dairy too. Not like it would have been hard, but it was my offer. And he said, no, it's okay. This is something I have to do for my allergies. And I was like, okay, well, I'm here for you if you need me. And he was like, I'm good. I got this. I'm like, all right, dude.
I love it.
If I had told him, oh my gosh, no, it would have been the most horrible idea. What do you mean I can't do this? What do you mean I can't do that? But because Nicole here, who's a doctor, told him, then it made such a difference. So I think that's important too for parents, right? Because you can take this information and try and implement it, and then it doesn't work. Yeah. Why is your mom giving the instructions and trying to explain? But when somebody else, just like trying to teach your child a sport, if you're the coach, oh, good luck to that. Yeah. But if another coach tells them what to do, but you said the exact same thing, and all of a sudden it's working because you have a different relationship. So you may need to have that consultation and that appointment just to get that professional advice, even though you know, and you would say the exact same thing, because it makes such a difference.
For sure it does.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've chatted enough. How can people get a hold of you if they want to know more?
Yeah, so I'm at Derm Massage in Whitby. You can either call the clinic or look us up online. We're there. I also have my website, NicolePanethere.com. I don't know if you can throw links on here because my last name is kind of tricky to spell.
When the video goes live, just link it.
Sorry?
When the video goes live, you can just post a comment and you can put your link in.
Yeah. You can also just Google Whitby Naturopath, and I think I'm the 3rd or 4th link that pops up there. And then that'll take you right to the website. I'm also all over social media. So if you look me up, then you can usually see my Facebook or my Instagram. And I usually have decent content that goes on there, different health tips and tricks and different information for patients that way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Those tips are really awesome because, as we know, children can be picky and they don't always eat what we put in front of them because they don't feel like it that day or an hour after they said they wanted it.
Yeah, and they can't live on hot dogs and French fries.
Or goldfish.
They can, but they shouldn't.
That's right. So, yeah, feel free to reach out to Nicole. We'll put the link in the comments. And if anyone hasn't joined my group, it's the Parents Place. Feel free to join that. There'll be a link in the comments. And I think that's it for this week. So thank you, Nicole, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we will see you next week. Bye.